What's up, YouTube? This is NYG31 here. It comes to my mind, right? Why the Mets is so poorly constructed and why the Mets is playing poorly this season. It predicated to the last off, no, not the last off season. Well, the last trade deadline when they trade J.D. Davis and I think two or three minor league prospects for Darren Ruff. And with that, Darren Ruff is not even on the team. And then, before that trading deadline, a month before that trading deadline last year, right? They traded Cole Harman for Daniel Vogelbach, who have done nothing this season. And that goes to wondering, between the last trading deadline and this past off season, the Mets had traded 8 minor league prospects. Don't forget about Tyler. I think Tyler Quinn. They traded for Tyler Quinn for two major league prospects. They traded 2 major league prospects for Tyler Quinn. This is pathetic. And you trade this past off season, you traded 2 minor league prospects for Jeff Brigham. Billy Eppler had traded 8 prospects between last trading deadline and this past off season. This is the reason why the Mets farm system is so thin with pitching, because Billy Eppler traded him away. He does not know how to build as far as pitching is concerned. This is the reason why the Mets are an older team, because Billy Eppler is trying to win now. Of course, Steve Cohen wants to win now too, but that's not the way you do it. You mix young players with older players, and we have a lot of old players on this team. Marquez should be traded before the deadline or within the trade deadline. And I hate to say this, but David Robertson should be traded before the deadline too, and Daniel Vogelbach gotta go. I'll keep Tommy Pham, and Guillaume has to go too. Even though he's a defensive wizard, but he makes a lot of mistakes. He has to go too. We gotta trade these older players for young prospects, young pitching prospects, because Alphonse is very thin in pitching. And this is the reason why the Mets have a 7 games on a 500 record, because of lack of pitching. You know what the Stars ERA is for this season? 7.50 this season. And every first inning they give up home runs. And we always get outscored in the first inning because our starters cannot keep the ball in the ballpark. They're always giving up runs, whether it's base hits, 2-out hits, doubles, triples. It doesn't matter. They give up the most hits, the most batting average in any starting pitcher. They give up a lot of home runs than any starting pitcher. The thing is, the starting pitcher has to get younger. It can't get older. Jose Quintana is 34. That's our biggest free agent signing. Like I said in my last video or 2 videos ago, they should have re-signed Chris Bassitt. You let him go to the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays pitching staff is much better now. And our pitching staff is the worst. It's not supposed to happen. I mean, our bullpen's okay, but our bullpen's in flux because Billy Epler does not know pitching. And when you don't know pitching, this is what happened. And this is the result you're going to get. Because Billy Epler does not know how to manage the farm system. And Billy Epler needs to go after this season. He's beneathful. Buck Showalter should be fired too. The mismanagement, and I'm still salty about Sunday's loss against the Phillies, and I'm still salty about the series loss against the Phillies over the weekend. I'm still salty because Carrasco only gave up 2 runs during that span, and you pull him out of the 4th inning with 78 pitches. He could have gone the distance. He could have probably pitched up to, like, maybe let's say 90 pitches or 95 pitches. You could have pitched him up at least the 6th inning or the bottom of the 5th inning. But instead of that, you pour him in the 4th inning and play this bullpen game. And you asking the bullpen to get 16 to 18 outs. That's too much. That's going to tax your bullpen. And the Phillies knew that. And that's why the Phillies took advantage of these walks. And that's how they won the series. And the defense has been terrible. Brett Baty has not been impressive as far as defense. I know he's struggling. I know he's young. He's probably going to get better. I'll keep him in third base. And Lindor's getting hot too, but he's not a lead yet. But I'll keep him for next season too because he's on a 10-year contract. I'll keep Jack McNeil. I'll keep Pete Alonso, and I'll keep Brandon Nimmo. But this is ridiculous. This losing streak and this losing series that every team I want them to beat needs to stop. We got to beat the Phillies. The Phillies are a trash-ass team. They're not that good. Even though they're a few games over 500, they're not that good. They're an oldest team just like us. And they succeeded. Because we have an inept manager, general manager, that does not know how to evaluate pitching. And if David Stearns comes to the Mets, Billy Epler will likely be fired. And so is Buck Showalter. And don't get me started about Jeremy Heffer. Jeremy Heffer is the worst pitching coach we had. I mean, you moved Eddie Chavez to the bench coach, which was a dumb mistake. You could have kept him as a hitting coach. I mean, this pitching staff and this hitting staff is horrendous. They need to go. They need to go. We need to start winning series. I want to win another World Series. I want to destroy the Phillies. I want to injure their fronts. I want to really injure their players because their players and their fan base and their general manager have been talking a lot of shit to the New York Mets. And those are they praying for their downfall. And they're happy. They're happy they won the series against the Mets. That's their World Series to them. But if the Mets have good bullpen and a good starting rotation and good hitting, the Phillies will never beat us. They will never destroy us because we can always dominate the Phillies. And the Phillies can't even beat good teams neither. They can't even beat the Braves. At least we took 2 out of 3 against the Braves last year. We beat the Braves up last year, but that's last year. This year we have not beat up the Braves that good because of poor starting rotation, poor bullpen, and poor management. And poor general manager. Stephen Cohen is a good owner, but he needs to see this. If I was Steve Cohen, I would fire Billy Epler right now and manage this team for the whole season. And that's it. Until then, this is NYG31 signing out. And I have not watched the Mets for the past 2 games because the Mets got me really angry. And that's facts. Until then, I'm out.